It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
All right, this next one's from Flip. Flip said, we invest in Roth IRAs, but are only able to by investing in traditional 401k 457. So it sounds like his income is above the Roth threshold, but when he does his salary deferrals, it pushes him down below the Roth threshold. Okay. Good planning. Will the eventual Roth conversions we do harm our wealth building process? So I think this is what Flip is thinking. Right now, I'm doing these pre-tax contributions so that I can start putting money in Roth. But I got to have everything in Roth because Roth is so good. So one day, I'm going to have to start converting all of that pre-tax money to Roth. And so then it's, is that going to hurt me? So two questions there, three questions there, a few questions there. Do we have to have all Roth? Is it bad to have pre-tax assets? And do we have to convert pre-tax assets to Roth at some point in our wealth building journey?
Yeah, by the way, I think what Flip's doing is actually great. He's maximizing the tax planning opportunity by lowering his income by making those traditional contributions to the 457, so he still qualifies for the Roth. And don't worry, Flip, you're going to have an opportunity, especially if you retire before 72 years of age. That's the current date or age for required minimum distributions. As long as you retire before then and you have the ability through the tax location of after-tax, pre-tax, which you'll have plenty in the pre-tax, it sounds like, and then the tax-free, which is Roth, you will hopefully have the opportunity to manipulate legally what you pull out for retirement in those first few years before age 72, and so you can maximize those lower tax rates and do Roth conversion strategies. That's the plan. That's the way you're slowly. Now, look, there might come a point, because we see this all the time, where, yes, you get to age 72, and you have to start taking those required minimum distributions. That's when other planning opportunities come, like qualified charitable distributions. There's other things that you can do that will then mitigate the taxes, still, check all the boxes on your planning desires like charitable giving and so forth to lower your tax bill. But there are going to be hopefully be plenty of time between, say, 50 to 72 to do some Roth conversions, depending upon when you exit the workforce.
Oh, but you don't have to. It's going to be okay. Let's say that, your income now continues to go up and you get to the place where later in life and you retire and you're still in a high income situation because you have a lifestyle and you have to draw assets out of your IRAs and 401ks. That's okay. Roth converting is a strategy that can be implemented for folks who can control the tax bracket they're in. But maybe you have a pension and maybe you're going to have Social Security and maybe your tax bracket isn't as controllable, or maybe we're in a time where taxes, it doesn't make sense to convert in low tax brackets anymore. It's okay to have those pre-tax assets. I feel like some people, it's like that too much of a good thing idea. They get so caught up on, everything's got to be Roth, got to be Roth, got to be Roth, got to be Roth. That's not the case. Remember, we like building 3 tax buckets. It's okay to have those pre-tax assets in there.
I think you just said it's okay if you still want to have the goal of having 3 buckets, because we have done shows on you might be retirement rich and life poor, because we have seen people that they get to retirement and they only have that tax deferred bucket because that's what the employer match is, and they were in a higher tax bracket. That does cause a little bit of a headwind when every dollar you take is going to have a pretty big tax bill attached to it. And that's why I think you nailed it. There's nothing wrong with tax deferred, but just have a plan. You're doing it the right way of considering having all 3 buckets so that you can get in a situation where you have options. And then look, if you get to retirement and you're just so fortunate that you're in a higher tax bracket because all these buckets are spilling over, it stinks that you're paying higher taxes, but it's also, just recognition of the success you had of building. And sometimes that is not the worst thing, because that's not going to blow up your retirement plan if you're just overly successful at building assets.
That's exactly right.